Officials claim that a recent survey of 25 New York travel agents resulted in 19 of them advising inquirers not to go to Grenada because the beaches were covered with barbed wire and there were Cuban and Soviet troops all over the place. 17 of them then admitted the information came from the US State Department. All our reporting team saw, though, was bamboo huts and bikinis.
The idyllic scenery turns out to be deceptive. While some of Prime Minister Bishop's acts as leader may seem progressive, he has outlawed all other parties and refused to hold elections. While Bishop refuses to step down or agree to a power-sharing agreement, his deputy prime minister stages a violent takeover. And within 24 hours, Bishop is killed.
Grenada, we were told, was a friendly island paradise for tourism. Well, it wasn't.
The new leader, Bernard Cord, is even more extreme than his ousted predecessor. After executing Bishop, Cord orders a state of curfew where anyone taking to the street can be shot. The U.S. is not going to sit by and let this brand of militant Marxism take hold, especially not in its Central American backyard. The United States invades the nation of Grenada.
Grenada's flirtation with the Marxist government came to an end in 1983, when US troops flooded in.
Well, Grenada was the classic case of the sledgehammer and the nut, the full might of American military power being used to sort of quash this descent on a tiny island in the Caribbean.
It's a lovely piece of real estate, remarked American Secretary of State George Shultz when US forces arrived, supposedly to rescue Grenada from its radical turn.
In the final hours of the battle for Grenada, the Americans were still pouring in more combat troops who arrived at the new airport, one wave following another. The build-up coincided with the arrival of helicopter gunships, all urgently needed reinforcements to end the fighting as quickly as possible. In the words of one American officer, they were using whatever it takes to free the island.
The Cubans have been deploying advisors, personnel, and troops in Grenada. How many are active combatants is debatable, but Fidel Castro clearly feels it is good propaganda to say they are engaged in the fight.
The Cuban forces will continue fighting until they are, as long as they are still under attack.
The invasion of Grenada by Ronald Reagan probably sent a message to Castro because the Cubans were in Grenada in large numbers, and it was the first and only time that the two sides came head-to-head directly militarily, and the Cubans retreated very quickly.